all of my party people. It's Courtney here. I have 3 books to talk to you about today about the perfect marriage. Is there any such thing? But while we're doing that, we're going to do some nail stuff. You know, I like to switch it up. So I'm going to get some of this fingernail polish off, clip out my nails, and do something different. So let's get started talking about the books. So the first book is The Perfect Marriage. The Perfect Marriage stars Jessica and James. They're having their first year anniversary party because they're all in love. They want everybody to know that they're soulmates and they're just destined to be with each other. Never mind that they both were married to someone else when they met each other and had an affair. But you know what? We're going to go from there. So they have this first anniversary party, and a few days later, James is found murdered in his office. Da-dum, da-dum. And so the detectives and the police are trying to figure out who did it because everybody seems to be harboring some sort of secret and have something to hide. So you have the crazy ex-wife who is bitter and hot-headed. You have the sensitive yet anger under wraps with daddy issues ex-husband. And then you have the sexist douchebag business partner. You also have Jessica, who is this seemingly devoted, loving wife. And then you also have this beautiful mystery woman that everyone keeps talking about, but no one seems to know who she is. And caught in the middle is the teenage son who is battling leukemia. So this book is a whodidit type book. I think overall it was a really good book. I think it was suspenseful and it had a really good flow to it. It covers betrayal, loyalties, revenge, unconditional love. It covers how people can be pretentious with their finances. You know, you have those people drive the fancy car, but they're eating ramen noodles at home. I like that it talks about the sacrifices we make for family and for ourselves, and also about overcoming the demons in our past in order to live our best lives, because we all need to do that. This book had a lot of funny parts, especially concerning the ex-wife. She's a hot-headed person, okay? She reminds me of some of the girls on the street. When somebody do you dirty, you know, you just can't let that go. I did like that this book talks about the art world. I learned a lot about that. Apparently there's some drama. I thought that the book gave just enough detail about that, but didn't go overboard, and I definitely appreciated that. One thing that I didn't like about the book is that it kept jumping between the different characters, and so it was hard to keep up with that. I mean, I like that I got to get into the mindset of each and every one of them. However, it was a bit confusing at times. There was a lot of explanation about bone marrow transplants, just a bit overkill when it came to that, when it came to courtroom drama and legal proceedings, as well as descriptions of detective work. Just plain overkill. Overall, I really enjoyed this story. I felt that betrayal and sins of the heart definitely have consequences, and that's for everyone involved. So a lot of people think they can get away with, you know, their love story when they decide to find somebody new, and it doesn't always work out that way. So I think this book will definitely showcase that. But really good book. I gave it 3 stars. Drowning with Others is the next novel. It's another psychological suspense type novel, and it talks about Andy and Ian, who have this perfect marriage and this perfect life. They're successful. They both have businesses that are successful. They have a big house. They have beautiful children. Their daughter goes to this prestigious boarding school somewhere near Chicago. And, you know, everything looks great. So their daughter Cassidy is at this boarding school, and her friends are, you know, swimming near this lake or whatnot. And they discover a car submerged in the lake with a dead body in the driver's seat. Da-dum, da-dum. And upon investigation, it's determined that this dead body actually belongs to a teacher that was teaching at this boarding school 20 years ago when Ian and Andy went there in their senior year. Now, Cassie decides to take this writing seminar that's held at the school. So the teacher determines, why don't we utilize this as an opportunity to use our investigative techniques to investigate this mystery right there in our own back door or lake. And so they start investigating. Now, this makes Ian and Andy very, very nervous that Cassie's class is investigating this teacher, because they don't want all these secrets to start being dredged up. But of course, Cassie doesn't give up, and she realizes, hey, look, some stuff is not adding up about what my mom and dad are telling me about this teacher and about what happened back then. Then, of course, everything starts to get exposed, all these different secrets, and everyone starts to question each other and look at each other side-eyed. I do like how this story is told. It's told partly through journal entries of Andy and Ian back 20 years ago when they were 17, and also from their current perspective as adults. So you get to see two sides of the same individual. I think in this novel, you see a lot of privilege. These people definitely think a lot of themselves, definitely. The dad rents this high-end sports car just to drive around town for the day, just for shits and giggles. They go to the best restaurants. They want to get these Broadway theater tickets. Just a lot of privilege, a lot of rich people. So if you don't like the rich people and them talking about their money, then this is definitely not the novel for you. What's interesting is that what goes along with all that privilege has a lot to do with the expectations of these people, both Andy and Ian back in the day, and also now Cassidy. You got to get the perfect grades, you got to go to the most prestigious school, you got to have a certain type of job. You know, everything's manicured for a certain image when it comes to that privilege and money. I did think that the parents were more concerned with their legacy and their traditions than their children, which I think is not where the priority should lie, but you know, that's just me. I thought that there was a lot of similarities between Andy, that's the mom, and Cassidy when Andy was Cassidy's age, which is very interesting because Andy has some concerns about some things that Cassidy may or may not be getting involved in, and it's the same stuff that she did back in the day. So I think that's definitely the pot calling the kettle black. I also think that the whole calling parents by their first name, that is never a good idea. I don't know. I'm from the South, so to me, my mom will pop me in the mouth. That is disrespectful. I thought that the storyline concerning the dad's business was a great lead up, and then a complete letdown. It was resolved with a simple phone call. I was just like, what was the point in that? I feel like the author wasted my time in reading anything about the dad's business because I was invested, and then I just wanted to throw the book away at that point. Waste of time. I'm still upset about that. I think that even the most solid marriages have secrets. I think everybody has a secret to a certain extent, big or small. However, I think you need to figure out, bottom line, does that make a difference today before you start delving into the past? Overall, I felt that it was a good story. It was worth reading, you know, if you have some time, but I give it 3 stars. I'm not gonna give it more than that. Okay, I got my nails all filed down and cut. They were in bad shape. So I'm trying to figure out which one. I think I'm gonna do bright fiery red because this last book is nuts. Okay, so the last book is called Every Last Secret. It is a psychological suspense drama in which you have 2 rich couples, one richer than the others, but they live in this prestigious, you know, ritzy neighborhood, and they're next door to each other. So you have Kat and Williams. Kat is this controlling, somewhat manipulative lady who's definitely aware of how rich she is and her status and position of where she lives at. And then you have William, who is this handsome, successful man, and he definitely has an ego problem, that's for sure. So next door is Nina and Matt. So Nina, she's this thirsty. She is thirsty. thirsty. Get a glass of water. Anyway, she is this thirsty social climber, and she is married to Matt. And Matt is this, down-to-earth guy. He's very normal, and he loves him some Nina. So these two couples befriend each other, and of course then all this drama goes on behind closed doors. It covers a lot of obsession, it covers a lot of wrongs. There's definitely several twists that happen that keep you guessing. Just juicy. All these characters are on this quest for this perfect life, if there ever really is such a thing. So very good book. I thought that it did a really good job. I think that it was a slow lead up to the action, but it was a great plot with definitely a Hollywood ending, so you won't be disappointed. It flips back and forth between the present and the past, and it does give spoilers along the way, but it doesn't detract from you being able to read the book and then still be surprised by what happens towards the end. I think that all of these characters are severely flawed, and you feel sorry a little bit in a certain way for maybe a few of them, but I feel like for the most part, they're not redeemable. I think they're horrible. I think the only one I feel any sort of likability for, truthfully, is Matt. And even then, I thought he was a bit pathetic and sappy and was annoying. I will say that this book taught me that just because somebody is your next door neighbor don't mean that you have to trust them. Like, I'm friendly with my neighbors, but at the same time, you're not getting a key. Have you ever seen that show called Nightmare Next Door? Watch it. That'll let you think about some stuff before you trust your neighbors too much. One of the things that did stand out for me with this novel was, these are supposed to be like really rich people, especially Kat and William, okay? They've already established themselves. They're not kind of still on the way up. They're there already. Yet they're talking about doing their own lawn work. And not to say just because you have money, you can't do your own lawn work. But at the same time, it's like, you're not hiring anybody. But overall, I thought that, it was a really good book. I definitely think that it is worth the 5 stars and definitely worth reading. It will definitely make you look at your neighbors a little bit side-eyed. I know I did. I have my nails done. That's good for a day. Nothing fancy. Fiery, just like some of these characters in the book. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening. I hope your marriage is much better than these people and that you don't have a bunch of secrets in your closet. Or if you do, watch out. Bye-bye. See you next time.